Alright, good morning guys. So today we're at the par 3 course, just working on some wedges. For this hole here, we've got 50 yards, so we're going to try to get dialed in with the distance control, and that's the main thing I'm looking for in wedges, and that's what's going to improve your game the most. It's just getting dialed in with your distances. If you have a par 3 course like this by where you live, I'd recommend going to that very often. If not, whenever you're playing by yourself, if you're playing 18 holes, you know, you can take 4 or 5 holes where you just drop a couple balls like 100 yards, 70 yards, 50 yards. You know, obviously I don't want you guys holding up a course, but you know, just hit a couple extra wedges, try to get dialed in as much as possible. So again, 50 yards here. Got a lob wedge, so it's pretty much just a half swing. You know, ball's going to be a little bit further back in my stance just so I can, you know, compress it and drive it in a little bit lower. Pretty quiet lower body. I don't want a whole lot of movement going on. So we're just going to get dialed in here. That one's a little bit long, probably flew about 56 yards. And the way that I like to adjust how far I hit it, typically, especially with wedge shots like this, it just depends on how far back I take it. I mean, some people like looking at a clock, you know, the hands on the clock, that's how far back you take it. For me, for a shot like this, I'm kind of just trying to stop like just past hip high. So right in here, maybe like rib high, that's how I like to adjust it. Kind of like hip high, rib high, up to your shoulders, that type of system. But just in general, I don't want you guys to, if you're trying to hit the ball further, try to kill it. Or if you're trying to hit it shorter, I don't want you starting to decel. So the way that you adjust distance is just how far back your lead arm goes. That's what you really need to focus on. So again, my lead arm can either go back to my hip, my ribs, or up to my shoulders. That's gonna adjust distance for me. And that's a little better, but still a little bit long. So again, just gonna adjust how far back my lead arm goes. Just try to tighten that up a bit. Yep, that was good. So again, guys, if you really want to get dialed in on your wedges, there's no shortcuts. You just have to hit a lot of shots. Drop some balls when you're playing 18, practice those wedges. If you have a par 3 course around where you live, go to that very often. Any type of shots inside of 100 yards, that's where you're gonna score. That's where you're gonna make your money. So just practice those shots a lot, and you'll see improvements in your game.
This is sick.